Hello everyone, welcome to Silicore Radio. I'm Lee. A few days ago, a friend messaged us, saying their Fursuit sim had burst, and asking what to do, and how best to repair it. To answer friends with the same question, this episode of Silicore Radio will look at stitching, difficulty, the look after repair, and the strength after repair, to answer your questions from 3 angles. Since furries use different fur fabrics, we've prepared 3 kinds: long, stretch long pile fur, long, stretch short pile fur, and stretch short pile fur. With the fabrics ready, let's start the repair and see how it turns out. First, we'll use the ladder stitch. With this stitch, the needle enters and exits one side, then does the same on the other side. Repeat this cycle until it's done. Then pull the thread tight, and the stitches will be well hidden. For stretch short pile fur, because of the fabric itself, the ladder stitch is a poor fit. Next is the blanket stitch. This stitch works by repeatedly passing the needle through both fabric layers, then looping the thread around it. After repair, the stitches look neat. Here are the other 2 fabrics with blanket stitch. The third method is backstitch. For this stitch, pass the needle through both layers, then re-enter where it came out. The stitches line up in a row. Here are the other 2 fabrics with backstitch. The last method is whip stitch. For this stitch, simply enter from one side and loop back in. It's the easiest stitch for beginners. Afterward, the stitches form a slanted row. Here are the other 2 fabrics with whip stitch. To test fabric strength, we 3D printed to clamp plates and prepare a force gauge. After clamping the fabric, we pull it in opposite directions. You can see the ladder stitched fabric shows an obvious gap. It withstands at least 8 kilograms of pull. Next, non-stretch short pile fur. You can see it also has a fairly obvious gap. It withstands at least 13 kilograms of pull. For stretch short pile fur, ladder stitch isn't recommended. Second, we test the blanket stitch strength. You can see the blanket stitch seam barely opens at all. It withstands at least 13 kilograms of pull and changes very little. We also prepared a partially repaired fabric piece. Even with an incomplete blanket stitch repair, it still has high strength. It also withstands at least 13 kilograms. For stretch short pile fur, because the fabric is very elastic, the pull it can withstand is much higher than the other two. It withstands at least 9 kilograms of pull. Third, we test backstitch. You can see the backstitched repair also barely opens at all. It withstands at least 12 kilograms of pull. Backstitch on non-stretch short pile fur also creates almost no gap. It withstands at least 13 kilograms of pull. Next is backstitch on stretch short pile fur. It withstands at least 9 kilograms of pull. The last group tests whip stitch. You can see the whip stitched repair shows a fairly obvious gap. It withstands at least 12 kilograms of pull. And after the strength test, there is a clear gap. Non-stretch short pile fur also shows an obvious gap. It withstands at least 12.5 kilograms of pull. Stretch short pile fur shows no clear gap. It's a better fit than the first two. It withstands at least 10 kilograms of pull. After the strength test, no clear gap appears. After the tests above, we can see that, because of fur length, most stitch marks will be covered. So except for very short fur fabrics, the appearance doesn't differ much. You can choose based on preference. For strength, every stitch can handle at least 13 kilograms. In terms of strength, ladder stitch is weaker than blanket stitch and backstitch, similar to whip stitch. For difficulty, it's slightly harder than whip stitch. It's suitable for repairing heads, where the stitches need to stay hidden. Blanket stitch is the strongest in the strength test. It gaps far less than the other three, but it is the hardest method. Use it for a full repair when you have time. Backstitch ranks just below blanket stitch in both strength and difficulty. It's good if you don't want complex steps, but still want a fairly strong repair. Whip stitch has the lowest strength, but it is the simplest. It also works for stretch short pile fur. It's suitable for friends with no repair experience as a simple temporary fix. If you want to learn the stitches, you can check out our sewing for furries from zero, step-by-step tutorial video. Alright, that's all for this episode of Silicor Radio. Feel free to share in the comments how you solved it, or anything else you want to know, or furry topics you want us to test. You're also welcome to leave your thoughts and questions. It might become the next Silicor Radio topic. This is Silicor Radio. See you next episode.